Okay, it's about 9:02, so I'll call the meeting of the McLeod County Board of Commissioners to order. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good morning, everyone. It is February 1st, and I would consideration of agenda items. Is there any additions or correction?
Mr. Chair, I have 2 items to add to the agenda.
Okay.
They're for parental leaves, unpaid parental leaves, which per our handbook we need to add to the agenda, and I apologize that it's not on there. It was meant to be. And I would like to add it under County Administration, item E and item F.
E and F, and clarify them again for what are they on?
Thank you. Item E under Administration addition would be consider approval for one full-time Health and Human Services public health nurse employee to be on unpaid parental leave starting June 1, 2022 for up to 6 weeks. Item F would be addition of consider approval for one part-time Health and Human Services finance employee who reports to administration to be on unpaid parental leave starting February 14, 2022 for up to 4 months. Our handbook requires this to go to the board. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Any other corrections or additions?
Move to approve the agenda.
Second.
Motion's been made by Commissioner Nagel and seconded by Commissioner Wright to approve the agenda. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Consent agenda. Any additions or corrections? Hearing none, I'll accept or take it.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Wright and seconded by Commissioner Luthens to approve the consent agenda. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. COVID-19, Barrett.
Good morning.
Good morning, Barrett.
Does this one work okay? Yes, it does.
It is.
Great. My update for today, as of yesterday, the 31st of January, McLeod County has had a total of 9,736 positive cases of COVID-19. 320 of these are reported cases of reinfection, which I think is important to note. So people that have gotten it twice, we are at 320. There have been 694 new cases in the past 14 days. 82 of those were cases of reinfection. Of the new cases, 11 people needed to be hospitalized and 0 were admitted to the ICU. There are currently 334 active cases, which require those individuals to remain in isolation. Unfortunately, we have had 98 COVID-19 related deaths since the start of the pandemic, which is 1 more since my last report. It's important to point out that these numbers only include the test results that are reported to the Minnesota Department of Health. Many people are continuing to do self-tests at home, and those are not reported in these data numbers. As always, feel free to check out McLeod County's website and the COVID-19 dashboard for updated county statistics. We continue with our vaccination clinics here at the Government Center. To date, we have held 90 vaccination clinics and administered over 10,875 doses administered. We have 2 vaccination clinics scheduled for this week. We have one tomorrow that we are hosting at Ridgewater College for students and staff only. Per their request, and happy to be able to accommodate that. So we'll be going there tomorrow. And then also Thursday this week, February 3rd, here at the Government Center, we are offering Moderna, Pfizer for all ages that are applicable, first doses, second doses, and boosters. And if you are interested in signing up for the vaccination clinics that are held here at the Government Center, feel free to check out our website to sign up for that as well. As of late last week, January 27th, we are at 59.6% of people in McLeod County have received at least one dose. So that number, as I usually mention, climbs very slowly, and we are hoping to see that climb even more in the next coming weeks or months. As I have talked about, we did get a number of Q tests that are aimed at our charge was to get those to populations who are diverse and may not have access to community testing. Those have all been delivered or deployed and are out in the public for use. And late Friday afternoon, we received a shipment of 6,000 KN99 masks, which are a high-grade medical quality mask, and the recommendation is for people to begin using a higher quality mask, which this one is. So we're putting plans into place to get those distributed to community organizations who then can distribute it to people in the public. Any questions?
Questions for Barrett? I don't have any. I just noticed that there's supposed to be people that applied for the tests. They're supposed to be getting mailed out to homeowners. I don't know if you know, or to households. Is that something you know much about? Or?
I don't. I signed up my household for the 4 free test kits. I have not received them yet, but I think it'll take some time. But that's through the federal government that
Right. I heard some of them were
Yeah.
in the mail stream already, and the only question that came up was they're not supposed to freeze.
Oh,
Don't mail them today.
good luck then,
I
right?
know, I know. So I just,
Yeah.
I just thought it was worth mentioning that if they are coming, get them in,
Right.
especially for us out in the country. That's, I just thought
Could
it
be
was
difficult.
kind of funny, not ha-ha, but that they would do that. But,
Right.
all right,
Thank you.
thank you. Sheriff's Office, Kevin.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Morning, Kevin.
Here this morning briefly to seek a resolution to adopt our McLeod County Multi-Hazard Mitigation Plan. This has been a process we kicked off in May of 2020. We're about 18 to 19, or it's 1 year and 9 months. Almost to the date that we kicked this project off. It does take a little bit of time. We do have a very good plan that we've worked with University of Minnesota Duluth U Spatial, as well as Hundreiser Consulting, to help us write our plan for hazard mitigation. So I'm very proud to say that the state and FEMA reviewed it, and it passed the first time around. Of course, that was back in January 20th. It was approved by FEMA. So the last step that we have to do is we have to have all our cities and county adopt our hazard mitigation plan by resolution, and then we'll submit that documentation, and our plan will be officially approved at that point. So,
Questions for Kevin?
Move to approve the resolution.
Motion made by Commissioner Nagel to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Luthens. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
okay, thank you.
Kevin. That was easy. Information and technology, Matt.
Good morning.
Good morning, Matt.
Here to request consider approval of a statement of work from Minnesota Security Consortium from Minneapolis, Minnesota for Virtual Chief Information Security Officer VCISO services, including a security and risk assessment for a cost not to exceed $18,000 with funds from the information technology budget. The security and risk assessment will take an in-depth look at the county's cybersecurity posture and will identify areas needing improvement as well as areas of strength. The VCISO services will help address items that come up during the security and risk assessment, as well as develop a plan for addressing items that require budgeting over time. Developing a formal cybersecurity program will help the county to continue to safeguard the information that we have been entrusted with and meet the ever-growing cybersecurity requirements for elections, criminal justice, federal tax information, Health Information Portability and Accountability Act, payment card, and personally identifiable information, and more. Both the results of the assessment and the plan will help with budgeting future IT and cybersecurity expenses. FR Secure of Minnetonka, Minnesota, quoted $21,707.50 for a security and risk assessment with a roadmap and plan. FR Secure also quoted options for VCSO services at approximately $57,000 for 1 year, up to $151,200 for 3 years.
Any questions?
Mr. Chair?
Go ahead.
And Matt, the request is for the 18,000 to go with Minnesota Security. And then the FR Secure quote tagged on it looks like a maintenance program for $151,200. Is there more coming down the road for a maintenance program with going with Minnesota Security?
So Minnesota Security Consortium, that's just a 1-year program at this time. The primary difference between the two organizations is Minnesota Security Consortium is a nonprofit organization who specializes in providing affordable cybersecurity services to government. FR Secure is a for-profit organization who has worked with a lot of governments, but they,
Thanks for that explanation, Matt. That kind of helps me. And with that explanation, Mr. Chair, I'll move to approve request to go with Minnesota Security for the 18,000.
Motion made, is there a second?
Second.
Motion made and second to approve the resolution from our budget 101065. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, Matt. Public Works, John.
Morning. Item A and B are kind of tied. Item A is to consider purchasing a John Deere 5115M utility tractor from Midwest Machinery out of Glencoe with a state contract price $97,925, and that unit is in our budget for this year. Item B along with that, if you want me to cover them both at the same time or might make more sense.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so item B, then we would like to either trade or sell a 2005 John Deere 5425 utility tractor. That tractor has 4,200 hours on it. The minimum trade price we received from Midwest Machine was $32,000. So at the time when the new tractor will be ready, we'd either put that out for bids for sale or else trade it in at that minimum price. A little bit of background on that tractor, the M Series tractor. This one I have a front-mounted PTO, so we can be able to put our snowblower on there. MnDOT's been running those lately, and they seem to work well compared to the rear-mounted one. Tractor be more versatile because it's used for mowing, shoulder floating. We also have a little bigger tractor right now that we would look at getting rid of down the road when we get this one implemented. Like I said, it's in the 22 budget. One thing with this tractor, like everything we heard for some equipment, if we don't act soon, the 2023 tractors are coming around supposedly, and then of course price increases will come. So Eric, our shop foreman, was pretty confident if we get the order in, we'll get it, by that November date. But that sounds like the end of the build date for the 22s is around that November time frame, from what I understand.
Questions for John? I think he covered it pretty well. I know that the value of used machinery is they're valuable pieces right now, so it looks like you covered that as well. So any questions for John?
Are you preferring to trade it, or do you want to put it out on the auction system, or what is your preference?
I'm not sure, I guess. Eric just said at the time, trade's pretty slick. You just turn them in the tractor. But given what equipment's going for, we can watch the markets a little bit, and we got some time before this thing will be built. So I think we kind of do what we think will get us the most bang for the buck.
Yeah, your lead time is a ways out there, and if you
Yeah.
would, you can always you got a floor for a reserve if you need to. So
Yeah, I'd like to kind of just wait and see what it's doing.
Will you take them together, separate?
I would I guess we can take them together because it's actually a packaged thing as long as we prefer not to. Sheila?
Since they're listed as separate items, I think you're supposed to approve
Okay.
them separate. I'm sorry.
Let's take them one at a time then. Let's take the purchase first.
I'll move on the purchase.
Motion made by Commissioner Nagel to approve the purchase.
And a second.
Seconded by Commissioner Schmalz. Excuse me, slow this morning, but any discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. And what I'm trying to do is too many things at one time, so I apologize here. I'm punching away on different things and it's not working. The second part of trading in the tractor.
Leaving it up to their choice, I think, is a good option at this point, so move to approve B.
Motion made by Commissioner Wright. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Nagel. Any more discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
All right, item C, we'd like to consider the award of State Project 43-60111 and State Aid Project 43-60112. Those are the concrete overlays on County Road 1 from Sibley County up to just east of County Road 22. Low bid was from Kroll Incorporated out of New Hampton, Iowa. Low bid was $7,447,744.74. Other bids include Schaefer Contracting, Michael Rhodes out of Wisconsin, PCI Rhodes out of Minnesota here, Dunnick out of Minnesota. The low bid all the way up to a high bid of around $8,087,898. The Kroll bid was about 2% under our engineer's estimate, and we think it's a real good bid given the climate of everything, and so we recommend award. This has federal money on it, so this is why there was a little delay on this. We had to go through all the approvals with MnDOT and everything. They got to meet DBE goals and different things, and they've done that, so everything is good to go to award it to Kroll.
Have we used them before?
No, they've
feel
done
new to
some,
me.
They've done some Minnesota work. Last number of years in different MnDOT districts. They're real good. They do stringless
So
paving.
you're okay with them?
Yeah, very good.
'Cause
Yeah, they're
I
good.
don't know, new scares me a little bit.
Yep. No, they run stringless paving, so there's no string line. Similar to what PCI did last year, they'll run rovers on their units, so it's easier access around the equipment a little bit. But no, they're I don't know if they've had the smoothness numbers that PCI or Schaefer have had that we've had in the past, but they're certainly not. We can't reject them or anything. I mean, so they come with good remarks.
That was, I just want to echo Commissioner Nagel's concern. That was, when I looked at it, it was the same thing, because I do, obviously I know about Schaefer
Yep.
and PCI, but that
Yeah.
was my
You-
question as well.
In the bids, I mean, imagine how tight those are when you look at those first four bids. They're within, very close for a $7 million job.
Well, the first two were Schaefer.
Yeah.
Are really close.
So it tells me we have a good construction plan. We should have no issues in the field, right?
Okay, with that, is there a motion to accept these bids?
So moved.
Motion made by Commissioner Nigel to accept the bid of $7,447,744.74 coming out of the budget of 03-320. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Wright. Any more discussion?
Mr. Chair,
Go ahead.
are we obligated to take the low bid?
I think your county attorney would advise you to take the low bid, lowest responsible bid. Kroll's never shown anything, like I said, with MnDOT or anything else for reasons to reject it. I think you'd open yourselves up for some litigation, in my opinion, if we don't take the low.
Mr. Chair, I think that in the case when you wouldn't take the low bid, there would be a difference in the bids, and there is not a difference in these bids, correct? They're all
Other
Following
than
the plan
the
request.
monetary amount, I mean, right?
right.
And I've asked that question to our attorneys several different times, just for your information, and unless we have a good reason, I mean, unless there's some reason that there is substandard work or a history of something, and that's kind of why I was glad Commissioner Nagel asked that question, because, I mean, I have to have my faith in my staff here, and they're saying that this construction company is good, so
Yeah. If we had past issues with them, Commissioner, then we'd have some grounds, I think, but given there hasn't been anything. We've heard Kroll's done good work.
Any more questions? Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
D is to consider additional design engineering services from Erickson Engineering out of Eden Prairie. Cost of that is $8,200 for changes outside the original scope of work for our state aid project 43-59904. That's a bridge replacement in Acoma Township. It's Old Bridge L9240. The two reasons for the change is after MnDOT review, the bridge width was reduced from 28 feet from 32. So going into it, we were hoping we could get a 32-foot bridge, a little wider for farm equipment and everything. And MnDOT came back and said, no, we have to just go with the standard. Typically, they've offered, or they've let us over-design a category in the design standards. So we were trying to get a wider bridge, and they didn't go for that. But the bigger piece of that was, with the way that river runs there, we need a sheet pile wall on that one corner to avoid filling in the river and undermining the wing wall. Some of that wasn't anticipated at first, so that's the reason for the change. And this change is with town bridge funds. That bridge will be funded with all town bridge funds except $20,000. If you recall that program, the township's responsible for the first $10,000 of engineering and the first $10,000 of construction. So this change would go into that and be covered by town bridge.
Okay,
And it's legitimate. Had to do more work on that to get that.
I do appreciate at least you trying to get the water. It seems to come up on most all the township bridges, and I appreciate.
The old days we could kind of swing that. So
I know, and I appreciate that you tried it. I'm glad you put that explanation in here.
I'm certainly glad you tried since it's in Acoma, and
Yeah.
I can say we tried. So I will move to approve.
Motion made by Commissioner Nagel to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Schmalz. Any more questions or discussion?
I'll just add, the township's aware of that width. We've been back and forth through the whole process on the bridge type and everything, so they've been in the loop on it.
And I appreciate, and I know that, obviously, and I appreciate that, but a lot of people will ask why.
Sure.
And now we have the answer, and that's all right.
And especially that it was out there to try to get it done, and I kind of remember it on our Glencoe Township bridge as well, so.
Like I said, the bulk of it was the sheet pile design and everything.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Last item, I'd like you to consider out-of-state travel for myself to attend our National Association of County Engineers, or NACE, annual meeting and tech conference, April 25 through 27 in Buffalo, New York. We've got early bird registration, hotel, and airfare, approximately $2,100. This is a conference I've attended many times over the years. 2018, I was fortunate enough to get their National Association of County Engineers Rural County Engineer of the Year award. So it's a good conference for me. There's a lot of technical sessions, good networking, federal highways there, different ones. So it's a good opportunity to stand in front of them for funding and other sorts of stuff.
Mr. Chair,
Go ahead.
I just want to add that John and I do discuss the conferences, and I support him attending this one as he has in the past, and that, like other out-of-state travel, which you have another item on the agenda for that, we do reports when they get back.
All right, that's the only thing I was going to say as well. We started a policy a couple of years back to make reports, whether it's department heads or commissioners when we come back, so appreciate a report. Is there any other questions before I would take a motion.
Move to approve.
Motion made by Commissioner Wright to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Luthens. Any more discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, John. County Administration, anything from you, Sheila, before we go into calendars?
I will add after you're done, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
All right, calendars, Commissioner Luthens?
I had just had the county commissioners workshop, and then Prime West, we had an emergency meeting, and I'll let Commissioner Schmall talk about it. I was on safety committee meeting the rest of the time.
Okay. All right, we had our last workshop, at a meeting with our ARPA committee. attended the interview process for our new maintenance supervisor, attended the Winter Township meeting, and our social services meeting. This past weekend, attended the McLeod County Corn and Soybeans banquet. And just to make an announcement for this evening, the McLeod County 4-H shooting sports program will be having weekly practices starting tonight, and we'll be doing that through the rest of the winter, and then summer months it changes to an outdoor location. So this is a great opportunity because we do have equipment available for kids. If you have a youngster that wants to try out, and they do have to be a 4-H member first, but anywhere from BB gun to the air rifle to archery. And we have, it's pretty well a 50-50 split for attendance on boys and girls. So this is definitely a girl event, and it's meant to be fun. It's meant to be educational. It's just an opportunity to try that interest of looking at those disciplines. And we have kids that just come for fun, and we have kids that really make an effort to become very, very good at it. And we have some trained coaching staff available for that. So that's every Tuesday night at the poultry barn, basically at the McLeod County Fairgrounds. So any questions, you can get a hold of me or the 4-H office. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Wright. That is a very, I've looked into it, it's a very exciting program for anybody that's interested or just getting aware of the sport. It's absolutely worth going to. My calendar looks somewhat similar to Commissioner Wright's, the after-board workshop, the ARPA funds meeting, committee meeting. I also had Trailblazer on the 20th. I had the McLeod County Townships Association on the 24th. We had our HHS on the 25th. I also had Buffalo Creek Watershed that same afternoon of the 25th. I had our HRA board meeting on the 26th, along with our Mid-Minnesota Development Corporation that evening. We did have it in Plato with a very good turnout. And that brings us to today. Commissioner Nagel.
Following the meeting, we had the workshop. I also participated in the facility supervisor interviews, attended the Association of McLeod County Townships meeting, Health and Human Services, and traveled to Marshall for the Southwest West Central meetings that I have. That'll do it.
Mr. Chair, I had a busy couple of weeks. Following our board meeting on the 18th, we had a workshop here, and then that afternoon I attended a well-being committee meeting by Zoom. On Wednesday the 19th, we had our Public Health Advisory Board meeting by Zoom. Thursday the 20th, we had a Pioneer Land Library Joint Powers Board meeting in Wilmer. Had to make that trip when it was about 20 below, but it was an easy drive because the wind wasn't blowing. I appreciated that. And then Monday the 24th, like Commissioner Nagel stated, we attended the MCAT meeting in Hutchinson, Minnesota, or McLeod County Association of Townships. We each were asked to talk on a specific topic, which we did as a board. Tuesday the 25th, HHSC meeting here at the Government Center. And Wednesday the 26th, Commissioner Luthans has indicated that they had an emergency Prime West Joint Powers Board meeting called. The Director Prisbilla was not happy with some language that he saw come down from DHS. I can't explain it all exactly the way they understand it, but it's something that came down from DHS which reduced the choices of plans available to our rural counties and our Prime West system. They are very disappointed with that, and he is seeking permission from the Joint Powers Board to acquire legal counsel and possibly a court action. Thus, the meeting was called, and I will say that the decision for the director to move forward with that action was unanimous by every single member county in attendance. And then Thursday, the 27th, I wrapped up my week with a UCAP meeting by Zoom. The takeaway from the UCAP meeting that I can share is they're struggling, just like all of us are struggling with keeping employees and retaining the help that they need. One of the facts that kind of hit close to home for me was the fact that, they run our Head Start programs here in Glencoe and Hutchinson. Being they are short-staffed, they reported that the Glencoe Head Start is not operating, and those students that would attend Glencoe are now being bused by Trailblazer to the Hutch facility. So not a lot of good news. They did approve some pay increases across the board, and also gave the director a favorable review in that meeting. And that's all, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Thank you. And before you go, Sheila, Commissioner Schmalz, could you make sure you update us on that Prime West situation? Give it to Sheila so she can share it with the rest of us, because we can reach out maybe to our legislators or whatever, what the issues were. I know they've had them before, but if you could do that for us, I'd appreciate it.
Yeah, Director Prisbilla followed up with an email and an outline, which I can definitely forward to Sheila today.
All right, and then I just had one other addition to, I didn't think of it on my calendar. I just, for informational purposes, we did two with our county staff, and I had to report it myself. We had two really big unauthorized dumps in our recycling here in town, and I am pointing that out only because they were both large, and they were both had us make extra trips from Hutch to pick it up. We do our best to keep it clean, but I just want to point that out because of the challenges of trying to keep these sites open. So thank you. Go ahead, Sheila.
Thank you. I just want to thank the County Association and Townships for inviting us last Monday and letting the commissioners present to that group. That's always helpful to have that invitation and give them a chance for talking to them. And then just mention quickly that we do have our deployed troops coming home to McLeod County, including our employees. I believe they're both safe in at least the United States right now, and also that one is for sure home. So we will celebrate them in March when they return to work. I believe it may be before them, but give them a little bit of time. And just want to recognize our other community members who have served and are coming home. So thank you. Sorry, Mr. Chair. Jim Lauer will likely present on that a little bit since he has much more information than I do, our Veteran Service Officer.
Good. Keep us informed, and I'm glad. I believe they've been back in the States for a little bit, so I was glad to hear that. So, and they need some time at home with their families as well. So. Yeah,
and I do think it's affecting a lot of them that quarantining for COVID-19 before they are allowed to actually come home. So I'm not sure of exact timelines, but we're just happy to know that one is home and they both may be home now. So thank you.
Thank you.
Item A, consider approval of letter of support to the Southwest Corridor Transportation Coalition in support of the U.S. Highway 212 Safe and Efficient Travel Project on behalf of McLeod County.
Move to approve.
Well, a motion's made by Commissioner Nagel to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Schmalz. Any discussion? This is a letter that we've done before. It's in support of basically 212 and to the Met Council to show our interest in getting 212 done and the effects of it out in the western area of the state, especially McLeod County. Any more discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. Item B, consider approval of out-of-state travel for the incoming McLeod County Economic Development Coordinator, Liz Danielson, to attend the Site Selectors Guild Annual Conference in San Diego, California, March 2nd through March 4th, 2022, with funds from our county administration budget. McLeod County has applied for the Robert M. 80 Professional Development Scholarship, which, if received, would cover registration costs for the conference totaling $2,000. Estimated cost to attend this conference, including the fee, lodging, and transportation, will be approximately $3,600. I did meet with Janet Adey, who was our economic development consultant, to talk about this conference and the value that it could provide for our incoming person. I think this will help them set the stage, which we discussed there would be training requests going into this. So I do recommend approval.
Any questions or?
Mr. Chair, I'll just add that this is a new position, a new effort. Well, not super new. We've been working on it for years, but we're finally here. Now we have our person, and our framework is now in place, and this is all about investing in the growth of our county. So this is an absolutely worthwhile investment to send a person there, regardless whether we get the scholarship or not, in my opinion. So move to approve.
I'll second it, and I'm confident that this will pay for itself very quickly.
Motion made by Commissioner Wright and seconded by Commissioner Nagel. Any discussion? And I would add to the discussion, I'm very happy with our process as well. We've had a long task in getting this done. We've went different directions. I really feel good about our person, and I feel good that we're making the right decisions and putting the county in the right direction. Any more discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We did send out a media release to Hutchinson Leader upon request from them yesterday, just detailing our economic development effort and our staffing. And just a reminder that that position for administrative assistant, which will need to be backfilled with Liz taking this new role, that closes, I believe, on Friday of this week. So if anyone watching is interested in working with this county board and our county administration office, please check out our website to apply. Thank you.
I don't know, that's a real good sales pitch that they have to work with us.
Well, got to be honest.
Despite
Despite working with the board, if you're interested, let us know.
Thank you. Item C, notification of Renville McLeod Meeker Joint Drainage Authority public hearing on redetermination of benefits of Joint Ditch 1 Renville McLeod Meeker. The Drainage Authority will hear public comment on the acceptance of the redetermination of benefits at the Commissioner's Room of the Renville County Government Services Center, 105 South 5th Street, Olivia, Minnesota, on Wednesday, February 9, 2022 at 1:00 p.m. Item D, notification of board workshop following the board meeting on February 15, 2022 at the McLeod County Government Center, 520 Chandler Avenue North, Glencoe, Minnesota. And then items E and F, I'll have Hannah present. Those are the added items.
Morning, Hannah.
Good morning. Thank you for being flexible, adding these items. Appreciate it. I have two leave requests today. These are both unpaid leaves. The first item, item E, is to consider approval for one full-time employee, one of our Health and Human Services community care employees, to be on unpaid parental leave starting June 1st for up to 6 weeks. This is a new employee who does not yet qualify for FMLA. An employee has to have worked at least 1,250 hours during a 12-month period preceding that leave. So approving this unpaid leave secures a position for this full-time employee that's not being very successful in that unit.
So it's just a timing thing, really?
It's really just, it's kind of a technicality. Again, if this employee had been here longer, they would be approved for FMLA, and that would just go through my HR team would approve or go through that process, requesting medical documentation. But again, because this is a new employee, they don't yet qualify for that FMLA. So it's really just an unpaid leave. We're not filling this position in their absence. The team is going to be able to maintain that workload while they're out for those 6 weeks.
So it's kind of one of our new challenges with the way things are working today. It's just.
Well, maybe, and yeah, it's not necessarily. I guess it says we're trying to be flexible, right, and just make sure that this is secured for that employee. But this would be happening whether we were in the current climate or not.
And Mr. Chair, I just want to note that this is not something new.
Yeah.
Whenever the county staff for the positions which need these leaves can accommodate it, we go through it very carefully with the supervisor or the department head and then recommend whether or not to approve. And some of them we cannot, unfortunately. But when we have more staff in the departments, sometimes we can. And we do want to be accommodating when we're able to. Thank you.
I'll move to approve.
Motion made by Commissioner Nagel to approve. Is there a second? I'll second it. Is there any more discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor of this request, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. F.
Thank you. Item F, so consider approval for one part-time employee to be on unpaid leave starting February 14th, 2022 for up to 4 months. Again, part-time employees are ineligible for FMLA because they have to work those 1,250 hours within a 12-month period. So this is just approving this unpaid leave secures this position for the current part-time employee who is in the administration, supervised by our administration team, the finance director, and is in our Health and Human Services finance unit. And is also a very successful employee, and we're looking forward to welcoming them back after their leave.
Any more questions for Hannah, or is there a motion?
Mr. Chair, I'll move a request based on, the discussion we had on the previous decision. It's maybe the times that we're in, and we do want to remain flexible to retain our workforce.
Motion's been made by Commissioner Schmaltz. Is there a second? I'll second.
Go ahead.
I'll second this one as well. Any more discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Do you have anything more? Anyone else have anything for the good of McLeod County for this meeting today? Open forum. I'm just going to add an open forum that today is caucus day. It's the start of the season that we think never ends, I believe, but it is a start for grassroots to get involved with the political process. And I'm going to clear the air that my intentions are, my health is good, and my intentions are to file again in May for my position. And that's all I have. Is there anyone else for open forum?
Mr. Chair, you kind of put me on the spot.
Didn't mean to.
I have the same intentions to file in case anybody's going to now call and ask me. Seems like it gets earlier and earlier when we have to do that, but those are also my intentions, is to file and hopefully continue in my role as commissioner.
And I don't want to put words in your mouth, but I do it with the greatest respect. I just get some asks, and it's just clears the air. And my health is good, so that was probably my decision. So, press relations. I don't see press. So, I would look for a motion to recess until February 15th, 2022 at 9 a.m. here at the McLeod County Government Center, 520 Chandler Avenue, Glencoe.
Move recess, Mr. Chair.
Motion made by Commissioner Schmaltz and seconded by Commissioner Nigel. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We're recessed.